And now, for the auspicious occasion of lamp lighting, we have our chief guest, Sh.Rajeev Chandrasekhar, Honorable Minister of State, Electronics and IT, and Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. I welcome you, sir. We have our guest of honor, Dr. Ashwath Narayan, CN, Honorable Minister of Higher Education, IT and BT, Science and Technology, Skill Development, Entrepreneurship and Livelihood, Government of Karnataka. I welcome you, sir. Professor Vishwani D. Agrawal, Chairperson, VLSI Society of India, Professor at Auburn University. Dr. Satya Gupta, President, VLSI Society of India. Our Executive Chairs, VLSI D 2022, Mr. Sambit Sahu and Mr. Balaji S. Our General Chairs, VLSI D 2022, Mr. Anil Kemparna and Mr. Lakshmi N. Ketan Reddy. And Ms. Chitra Hariharan, Secretary, VLSI Society of India. I request you all to join us virtually for the lamp lighting ceremony. Thank you very much for the lamp lighting. Now, I would like to welcome our chief guest, Sh.Rajeev Chandrasekhar, Honorable Minister of State, Electronics and IT, and Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. Rajeev Chandrasekhar is the Minister of State for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship and Electronics and Information Technology of India. He is also an entrepreneur, technocrat, and a member of parliament in the upper house, the Rajya Sabha. Chandrasekhar served as member of parliament standing committee on finance, member of public accounts committee, member of joint committee on data protection bill 2019, and member of consultative committee on MOE and IT, Ministry of Communications, and member of the Indian Council of World Affairs. Chandrasekhar served as a member of parliament, standing committee on defense, consultative committee on finance, the Central Advisory Committee for the National Cadet Corps, co-chairman of District Development Coordination and Monitoring Committee, Bangalore Urban District. He served as a member of Rajya Sabha's select committees for the GST 1 and real estate bills. Chandrasekhar is the founder and advisor to the board of Jupiter Capital Private Limited. Sir, it's a pleasure to have you with us, and may I please welcome you to address us.
Good morning and namaskar to all at the VLSI ID 2022. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, Anil Kemparna. Thank you, Dr. Satya Gupta. And ladies and gentlemen, I have attended many VLSI design conferences in my 30-odd years as an engineer and entrepreneur. I think most of them as an engineer, and then I think a couple of times as a member of parliament, and this is the first time I'm attending as a minister, so it is obviously a very special occasion. I do find it a little surreal that we are doing all this virtually, starting from the lighting the lamp to having this discourse on what is obviously the frontiers of technology, but doing so in a virtual manner. But be that as it may, COVID over the last 2 years have taught us many new things and many new ways of doing the same old thing. So I think we are where we are, but we must continue to use the opportunities we have despite the restrictions and setbacks posed by this unprecedented COVID pandemic. Look, I'm sure you're used to ministers droning on and talking about a number of things. I will be very precise. I will be very focused. On August 15th of 2021, our Honorable Prime Minister laid out a vision for all of us who are deeply passionate about the Indian technology and innovation ecosystem. He said the next 10 years will be India's decade. And I think in that one phrase, he has summarized many things for many people. It talks about the direction of our economy, it talks about the direction of our technologies ecosystem. It talks about the power of technology in changing the way our government and citizens live their lives. So, using the India decade as a starting point, it is clear to all of us today who are in the technology space, whether we are entrepreneurs, we are techies, we are programmers, we are researchers, we are engineers, investors, that it is clear that we in India today are, through a combination of policies, leadership, vision, are at an unprecedented inflection point in terms of the growth and expansion of our technology sector. And we have had a long history of doing very well in technology services, outsourcing, and you've seen this year's results. 16-17% growth on a base of $200 billion is not an insignificant growth. But the COVID reality and India's performance during COVID has really redefined India amongst the world's observers about India and India's tech sector. We have used technology over the last 5-6 years. The Prime Minister's vision was that, and it has come to fruition during the COVID pandemic. The technology has been used to build a resilient economy, to build a resilient government and a resilient citizenry. And we have been able to do what we did over the last 2 years, rebound our economy, vaccinate our citizens, and show that India is the fastest growing economy in the world, receiving the highest amount of FDI, and creating innovation unicorns at a pace faster than and at a more torrid pace than any other economy in the world. All thanks to, not in small part, to the investments in technology that the government and the entrepreneurial ecosystem has made over the last 7 years. So if you take that as a starting point, take the Prime Minister's vision of a decade as the next point, and look forward, it is clear that we have a runway today of opportunities in the ESDM space, in the embedded design space, and of course the semiconductor space. And our ambitions specifically to the semiconductor space are very, very clear. And I want to share this with all of those who have who are here today listening and watching, that our ambition and our roadmap to semiconductor space involves obviously the big investment, which is natural given the geopolitics of the world, in fabs. But as importantly as that is the ecosystem around innovation, design, and systems. And if you see what we are doing today, we are essentially investing government capital in creating skills, talent, from the research side to the design engineering and the factory and testing and packaging workforce side. On one hand, we are investing capital and encouraging entrepreneurship and startups in the design and innovation ecosystem side. And we are, as government, narrow focusing and sharply focusing our own design and development efforts around the future roadmap of RISC-V and other open source ISA systems. So it is clear that our ambitions are real, our ambitions are serious. Of course, there is one part of it which is the government ambition and the government vision and the government leadership, but the other part is really to build a vibrant, energetic, performing, ambitious ecosystem of entrepreneurs, startup, and the industry. And I think to a large part, this partnership between industry, academia, and the government will be a defining partnership as we build this defining semiconductor and VLSI ecosystem in India and for the world. I won't say very much more. I will say that numbers were talked about, the $10 billion package. I think in a lot of ways, as somebody who's been in the VLSI space and the tech space for over 3 decades, I have never felt more confident about this moment of India. I have tried in the past, many people have tried in the past to expand the Indian innovation ecosystem, but I think it is a coming together of various factors, including the leadership and the vision of our Prime Minister, that has brought India to this inflection point and opportunity to grow and expand beyond its traditional technology capabilities. And to that end, I will say India represents today tremendous market for the application and use of technology. It represents a country where there's a tremendous depth and pool of innovation, ecosystem, entrepreneurs, and the energy. And we have the third part of it, which is government policies and government capital that are hopefully going to catalyze these two elements and create a sustainable ecosystem that will serve the world and that will serve the world's demands and India's needs in the coming years and decades. Thank you very much for having me this morning. Thank you for patiently listening. And I wish all participants the very best, and I wish the conference great success. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Hey, thanks a lot, Honorable Sir Rajeev Chandrasekhar, sir. That's very, very thoughtful leadership talk that you've given us on both on ecosystem, startups, and the last point of sustainability is very, very important going forward into the future. Sir, with your leadership, I'm confident that we will take India, or you will help us take India to greater levels, and in line with said, create the decade and more reality for all of us for the 1.3 billion population in India. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your valuable time.
I would love to now call upon our guest of honor, Dr. Ashwath Narayan. Sir, if you're on the streaming. I'd like to now welcome our Executive Chairs, VLSID 2022, Sambit Sahu, VP Network and Edge Products Intel, and Balaji S, Corporate VP and MD, Samsung Semiconductor India R&D Center, for their opening address. Sambit, if you could please start. Sambit, we are able to see you now. I think we had a little technical glitch. From you, Sambit, your opening address.
Thank you, Sweta. Sorry, there was a technical glitch. First of all, it has been a great honor and privilege to hear all the eminent speakers, including Rajeev Chandrasekhar sir in the morning. Good day to all of you. Hope all of you are doing well and staying safe. I would like to welcome all of you to the 35th edition of International VLSI Design and Embedded Systems Conference, and I'm very excited to be with all of you today. I would like to express my sincere thanks to all the dignitaries, speakers, presenters, organizers, sponsors, and the volunteers who have put up a great agenda together for all of us. Appreciate all the hard work and relentless effort that has gone into this conference. The world right now is going through major transformations, probably the biggest technology revolution I have witnessed in my career in last 30 plus years. We are all moving to a global world where everything is connected and all our devices need to be smart and secure. We are moving to a world where humans and machines need to coexist and interact with each other very seamlessly. We are moving to a world of autonomous mechanisms like driverless cars, drones, robots, and so forth. Ultimately, we are moving to a phase where the physical and cyber world will coexist and will interact with each other seamlessly, providing an ultimate immersive experience, which is what we call as the metaverse. Now, all this can be possible by great silicon design, programmable hardware, and software taking advantage of these powerful silicon chips. This conference theme of silicon catalyzing computing, communication, and cognitive convergence is a great theme to stimulate our brains, our thoughts, our creativity to address this revolution. Great things are happening in the world, and great things are happening in India too, to take this revolution forward. It's great to see everyone from the government, corporations, academics, investors, and the very, very talented engineers coming together in India to propel this revolution. So please, in the next 3 days, learn few things, contribute, and enjoy during the proceedings. Again, very warm welcome to you all. With this, I would like to invite my esteemed colleague and co-executive chair, Mr. Balaji, for his thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Sambit, and very, very insightful speech by our Honorable Minister, Sh.Rajeev Chandrasekhar ji, and also very good to hear your thoughts about how the world is going to change. I welcome you all to the VLSI Design 2022 conference, and Samsung is very proud to be associated with this conference as executive sponsor, as a silicon sponsor, along with Intel. As Sambit was mentioning, the world is changing, right? And the world is changing really rapidly, and the technical innovation that's powering the world is actually semiconductors, right? Semiconductors at the heart of all the changes, all the innovation that's happening. Many of us are talking about the shortage of semiconductors last 2 years, probably maybe 5 years back. We all know that semiconductor is a cyclical business. And maybe a few years back when we went through a cycle of shortage, no one might have even spoken about it as we're talking about it now. This shows the impact of semiconductors in our day-to-day lives in each and every device we use. As Sambit mentioned, the world of metaverse is going to be a connected and a smart world, right? Each and every device is going to be connected, and each and every device is going to be powered by edge intelligence. In this world, the key anchors, I believe, are going to be your edge intelligence, connectivity, sensors, and data centers, right? This is where I believe the technology growth or the technology pillars, I would say, is going to propel for the future. Now, coming to India, right? As the Honorable Minister mentioned and quoted our Honorable Prime Minister's words, India is actually going into the next decade of semiconductor innovation. I think the action is going to be here in India, right? And for this to happen, we need a brilliant platform, right? Where the top thought leaders, the policymakers, the top researchers from academia, from industry can come together, can share their thoughts about the innovation that's going to propel us to the future, or propel us for the next decade of semiconductors. This is the platform which is going to provide us that opportunity. And I am really excited to be part of this conference because I think I'm going to learn a lot from some of the thought leaders and top researchers in the industry and academia. So I'm really looking forward. I'm sure you're all looking forward too, to be part of this conference. And once again, a very, very warm welcome to all of you. So Sambit, are we ready?
Yes, we are ready.
Welcome to the revolution. to the revolution.
That is indeed inspiring. I thank everybody who has given us this amazing vision and an amazing hope to look forward to. I would now like to welcome Professor Vishwani D. Agrawal, Chairperson, VLSI Society of India, Professor at Auburn University. Sir, we would love to hear a few words from you.
Thank you, Shweta. It's very nice to be here among all of you who have done such a tremendous job. And I guess my only qualification is that I have attended all 35 of the conferences, last 2 or 3 virtually. And I've seen the growth of the semiconductor industry in India. With 35 years ago, or in 1985, when we started, really the semiconductor industry was only seen at the horizon. And since then, tremendous amount of development has taken place. And I think that the things are now off and running. One thing I've noticed that every conference since the beginning has been larger than the previous ones. There have been more attendees. There have been greater amount of technical literature, technical program, and also there are many more sponsors nowadays than the beginning. So, excuse me, that way the conference has been continuously growing. And the only thing that can exceed this year's conference is the future coming years. So let us see what happens now, and let's hope that you will all enjoy this. And I took a quick look at the upcoming program, and things look very exciting. So we'll look forward to all of this thing for the next 3 days and enjoy it. And I hope that you will come back, and one of these days we will all get to meet each other in person. That is all I have. And Shweta, who is the next?
Thank you
so
Vishwani
much,
sir.
Vishwani sir is very modest. I think he has played a godfather's role for developing this conference and so many activities in the VLSI domain in India and globally. Lots of his students are basically behind DFT and test algorithms across all the EDA tools and the vendors. So he is a legend by himself, and what he has done for India through his efforts through VLSI conference, he and Dr. Prabhakar in 1984-85 started this effort. And it has basically his guidance and mentorship has taken this effort to this level. So I would like to thank you on behalf of all of us to keep providing this direction and mentorship. Thank you, sir.
That is nice of you to say all that, but the conference is not about me. It is all the effort of you guys who have put this year's conference together, and they should be applauded. Great.
Thank
you so much. I think those words were very well said, Dr. Satya. And Professor, I would really like to ask you a question and hear your thoughts, because I think all of us would benefit from it. If we imagine 2030, how would you visualize the world of academics in 2030? I mean, I have a 9-year-old and I'm wondering what academics would look like for her. So in perspective of this conference, if you could just speak a few words of what your idea would be.
All I can say is that we should look up, and everything will keep going up and better than the past. So let's be optimistic. And I'm sure that your youngsters will do very well. They'll exceed our performance, whatever we could manage. And we look forward to that. I see that our minister is here.
Thank you so much. And I would like to ask another quick question to Sambit and Balaji here, if you could share your views. What role do you think big MNCs will play to develop semiconductor ecosystem in India? Sambit, if you could go first, and then Balaji, if you could please add your thoughts as well.
Sure, Sweta. Thank you. Excellent question. Actually, I have been in India in the semiconductor system for last 15 years, and I think the MNCs as well as the local companies, they have played a pretty big role in building up the semiconductor ecosystem in India. 15 years back, there were hardly 2 or 3 companies were doing some level of silicon design to a large extent. Right now, we have around 30,000 talented engineers delivering around 3,000 chips a year, and definitely semiconductor, the MNCs have played a pretty big role in this. And moving forward, I think we have definitely built up the talent, and now to really see how we can propel the semiconductor revolution in India, along with the government, the academics, the researchers, the investors, and everything. How do we propel this? And this technologies, artificial intelligence, 5G, computing, IoT, all coming together. And India's great talent, great potential, great credibility in the last 15 years. Now MNCs can partner with all the rest of the ecosystem to really propel this revolution and help achieve India's aspirations and dreams that we talked about earlier. Over to you, Balaji.
Thank you, Sambit, and very well said, right? I think in the last 30 years, MNCs have really played a very big role in developing the ecosystem, because in semiconductors, a lot of ecosystem is to do with the talent base, right? And I think the 30,000 plus semiconductor or embedded system engineers we have in India, I think we have the right platform. What further needs to be done? I would say a couple of things. One is we need to not just make in India, but we need to design for India and design in India, right? These are products which can propel, which are completely customized to the Indian requirements. And this is one thing which is very, very close to our heart and my heart, and that needs to happen. The second thing I would say is academia, right? I think a lot of focus is required and cooperation is required, collaboration is required between MNCs and academia to take the semiconductor ecosystem in India to the next level. To me, these two are the 2 most important things, I would say, Sambit. Yeah, I completely go with what you say. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your thoughts, Sambit and Balaji. I think, I love what you said. It really resonates well that we make for India, we design in India, and we make in India. Definitely, that seems to be a very promising future for us. I would now like to welcome our guest of honor, Dr. Ashwath Narayan, Honorable Minister for Higher Education, IT and PT, Science and Technology, Skill Development, Entrepreneurship and Livelihood, Government of Karnataka. Dr. Ashwath Narayan is the current Minister of Information Technology, Biotechnology, Higher Education, Science and Technology of Karnataka from 20th August 2019. He is additionally the Minister of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship and Livelihood of Karnataka from 10th February 2020. He served as the 8th Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka from 20th August 2019 to 26th July 2021. He is the founder president of Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Bangalore. He was also the Senate member of Bangalore University Syndicate and Senate member of Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences Employees Association, Bangalore, and the chairman of the Committee for Drafting Statutes for A and B, C and D cadre of employees of Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Bangalore. Sir, it is such a pleasure to have you amidst us, and may I please welcome you to address us.
Namaskar. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow Atmanirbhar visionaries. Good morning. It's a pleasure to join the edition of International VLSI and Embedded System Conference 2022. This is a flagship event for the entire country and particularly for the state of Karnataka. Karnataka Charter is known for its leadership in semiconductor and electronics. On this occasion, I would like to recognize the presence of Vishwani Agarwalji and our Satya Gupta, who has been consistently been the pillar working closely with government and the industry. And our youngster, Mr. Anil Kemparna, and all other dignitaries, Sambit Sahu, Balaji, and all other dignitaries who are part of this virtual conference. Without taking much of time, I would like to really appreciate what VLSI Society and the Embedded System Conference has been doing for the state of Karnataka and for the country. Since the demand has been increasing in a very big way, the automation, the data-driven, and electronics presence has extended to each and every sector, each and every profession. So the consumption or the difference or what has been made for the society is very well known to each and every person. Since all of us are now connected, the device, people are connected, the devices are connected, entire world is connected. Now we are getting away from the physical world to virtual world. We are earlier talking about digitalization. Now we are talking about the virtual world. So the physical world we are trying to get away, and from wherever we are, we can get connected with the system. Not necessarily you need a big money. You need to have an idea, you need to have the commitment, you need to have the skill, technology, knowledge to take the society further forward and address all the challenges, whatever is been faced by the society and the whatever environment sustainability or the sustainability of the society can be addressed. Whatever damage has been done can be undone through the present technology. That is the difference it is going to make. Probably in this direction, the state of Karnataka, we are lucky to get the best of the best talent from across the country, because the diversity or the cosmopolitan nature of the state of Karnataka is very well known. It is an international city, it is a national city, and with a culture of diverse culture is a real good reason. And Bangalore, what you have the designers of the chip designers are there. Almost 70 to 80% of the chip designing happens from the Karnataka, particularly from the Bangalore city. It's really appreciable of the talent what is available here. We are really proud of them for their immense contribution. Similarly, in this direction, the government of India has come out with many policies to strengthen electronics, particularly the semiconductor. Earlier, we used to depend on the imports. Now we are looking forward how best the manufacturing, we need to become self-reliant. We want to become self-reliant, independent, Atmanirbhar Bharat, and we can't depend now. See, we do have a huge shortage for the semiconductors, which has been very well known and reflected in our other sectors, which is dependent on now everything is electronics dependent and semiconductor dependent. So with all these things, there are a lot of challenges now. Electronics components has become part of any industry. So to fulfill all these things, the Honorable Prime Minister, time and again, He has been driving it from the front, and almost more than 10 billion US dollar has been earmarked and been utilized, and we have become the center for the electronics and for all other, now particularly for the semiconductor manufacturing for the fab facility also. The government of India has come out with a 1,60,000 crores incentives to be provided for the industry, so that the manufacturing base will be established in our country, and the display facility and all other related to the semiconductor industry. We're trying to, in this direction, government of Karnataka also, we have kept our doors open, and we are willing to provide any kind of space, land, infrastructure, policy, whatever required policy. And we were the first people to come out with an ESDM policy. ESDM policy, which is the best in the entire country. The ESDM policy of the state of Karnataka has become a role model for all others to follow. And we will be much more happy to further provide much more facility, and our Honorable Chief Minister is very keen to ensure that state of Karnataka will become the real base for the manufacturing of semiconductor fab facility need to be established in the state of Karnataka. We are reaching out to all the players, whoever is in this industry or in this particular sector. So further to add, the national education policy also is further adding a lot of value to ensure that the required quality manpower, ultimately it is the quality manpower what is required for the further strengthening and promotion. In this direction, we are bringing collaboration between the academia and the industry in a very big way. We have followed the national education policy in toto, and the syllabus or the curriculum what is being provided or been taught in the state of Karnataka is on par with the IITs. And more so, earlier the internship was just for 4 weeks. Now the internship is almost more than 36 weeks. I request the industry to facilitate the participation of the industry and to facilitate the students to have the internship or the projects to be done in your industry. Build a structure such a way that all the North American countries, how they facilitated similarly the selection process or the opportunity or the internship needs to be facilitated. Not only just the recruitment, even the internship. To have the internship, in the most of the countries, there are a lot of system process. Similarly, the system process can be brought in here to inculcate and then make them the part of the industry and make them industry ready, employable, and the quality or the ability, capability, it should be much more than any other country. With that confidence, the opportunities are plenty. But if you look at the quality of manpower available, there is a huge gap. So we don't having a 135 crore population, they should not be short of manpower. We should be surplus. We should be able to cater. That is what we have been looking forward to, cater to the manpower requirement of the entire world. That is what we have been looking forward. Probably in this direction in Karnataka, we are completely revised from ITI to GTTCs, KGTTI, Polytechnic, engineering, degree education in all levels, from school to higher education. Everywhere we have revised and we have upgraded ourselves to Industry 4.0, as well as the facility and the infrastructure is on par with international standards. And we are trying to work closely, and we are trying to make use of the facility wherever it is available. Wherever it might be available, we are willing to make use of it. See, we don't have to waste the resource. Whatever resource is available, we want to have the complete utilization without any wastage. So in this direction, the resource also matters a lot, and we are trying to open up, facilitate, and trying to get the entire industry into the academia. We want the entire industry to be part of the academia, so that the collaboration, we don't have to be very far off. We want all of you to come closer. We are designing such a way, the structure of the organization in future, it will be much more better than the model institution like IIT or IIM. It will be much more better than that. The kind of the autonomy or the decentralization, what we are planning for the institution, will facilitate the entire industry to be part of the academia. I would like to stop here, and I should not take much because your time is very valuable. You're having international delegates and speakers of this conference. I went through the names. I'm really happy and extremely proud such a kind of program has been organized where the international reputed, we have made the difference. We have come out with a lot of unique solution with unique products. They're all the speakers. Probably their thoughts, their ideas can open up much more areas, and further progression can happen and collaboration can happen for ideas to come together, to share with each other, to ensure there's much more growth and the presence of all the international companies in Bengaluru and Karnataka is very well known. All the important organizations, they do their R&D in Karnataka. We'll encourage and the whatever money was earmarked, the double the amount we has been given as subsidy in ESM policy. With these few words, I would like to conclude. Once again, look forward. It is not only in this conference or anytime my doors are open. We want to work closely with all of you and to facilitate all our institutions are open. Even our government institution is open for the industry, for you to participate and to be part of the and to ensure the world best engineers, the world best skilled manpower will be from India and particularly from the state of Karnataka. With these few words, let me in and thank all of you for organizing such a fantastic conference. Best wishes. Namaskar. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.
Sir, thanks a lot. I mean, this was a very insightful speech. Dr. Ashwath Narayan, Honorable Minister for IT Education, Higher Education. There are a few points that you touch base. First, I'd like to really thank your leadership in Karnataka, because you just complimented us saying that we are getting worldwide leaders and it's of fame and repute across industries and academicians and researchers. But without strong leadership, giving us the guidance from government and these policies enablement, thanks to you, the Minister of State, Dr. Rajeev Chandrasekhar, and thanks to the complete BJP cadre for providing this thought leadership. We really appreciate it, and thanks for your valuable time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Ashwath Narayan, we're so happy to have you here. And thanks, Anil, for that note. I agree that all it takes is an idea and the will to do it. And as long as we have the backing of technology, we can go anywhere. I think these words will remain with us. It's very, very inspirational. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being with us.